to meet you again. Now we are going to do an exercise and understand the concept of influence line. So for moving load, if you want to find shear force, bending moment and the remaining parameters, you need to place the load at certain position in order to get the required shear force and bending moment. And you can use the conditions of statics and solve the problem. In the earlier lecture, that is in 2.1, I have discussed those techniques. Currently, I will be discussing how to find maximum positive and negative shear force at a point and how to find bending moment and absolute maximum bending moment by using influence line. In the previous module, we have understood how to draw influence line, and after drawing the influence line we can use those influence line to find the analytical parameters. So by this exercise we are going to understand the application of influence line. So this is a picture which I have discussed earlier, so I would like to point out here how to find the required parameters by using influence line. So this is a determinate beam, you can see, and we are only considering vertical forces and one point load is acting in this structure. So if a point load is acting in a structure, if you want to find the function, this function can be shear force, bending moment or reaction, anything. So if you want to find that, just you have to multiply load into this ordinate. So if there is a point load in a beam, you can take the load into this height of the ordinate. And if there is UDL acting in a beam, what you have to do is you have to multiply the intensity of the load into the area covered under this load. So you have to find this area, and if you multiply this area into this load, you will be getting the function. And let us apply this concept in this exercise to understand the concept. And once again, I would like to repeat this concept also. So for a determinate beam, if you want to find the shear force and bending moment at a point D, the conventional shape of influence line, as discussed earlier, influence line depends upon the span and the support condition. It does not depend on the load. So we have a span and the support condition. We can straight away draw the influence line for this. If you want reaction of A, you can draw the influence line in the similar way, and if you want reaction at B, this triangle will be mirrored and you will be having maximum intensity at B. So then if you want to find shear force, you can take, if this is the whole distance L, if the span of the beam is L, you can take the negative shear and positive shear at right side and negative shear at the left side, and the value of the shear force will be minus A by L. So A is the distance from A to D. So A by L or X by L you can take, and this remaining portion will be 1 minus X by L. So you will be getting this as the positive shear. So this is the formula to find that. And if you want to find bending moment, this is the influence line for bending moment. The peak of the point, that is where you require the bending moment, at that point you will be having the peak of influence line, and this intensity will be WAB by L. It is written here, W is the load, and if it is unit load, you can only consider AB by L. What is A? A is the distance from A to D, and it is written here. B is the distance, that is the remaining distance, and AB by L. You can find the parameters. Okay, let us take this example. A girder simply supported has a span of 24 meter. So this is a girder which is simply supported at its end, and it is having a length of 24 meter. A UDL of intensity 20 kilonewton per meter and 6 meter long. So the intensity of this UDL is 20 kilonewton per meter and it is having a distance of 6 meter long. crosses a girder. So this picture indicates that it is crossing from A to the point B. What you have to do is, using influence line diagram, find the maximum shear force and bending moment at section 9. So this is the section at section 9 meter from the left support. So this is the left support. From the left support, take 9 meter distance, and we have marked it as C. At this point, what is required is what is the positive shear force and negative shear force, also the bending moment. So let us find that. First, let us find the maximum positive shear force. Here, the term which is used is using influence line diagram. So you have to solve this problem by using influence line diagram concept. And if it is not indicated as ILD concept, you can solve by using conditions of static equilibrium equation. But here it is indicated that, so we will follow this technique. So what you have to do is, for a simply supported beam, I already indicated, at the left hand side you will be having a shear force of negative, where you have considered the point. So this is the point. At left hand side you will be having negative, and right hand side you will be having positive shear force. So this is the pattern of influence line. So if you add this, you will be getting 1 as the answer. So how to find the height of the negative shear force here? That is x by L. So that is the formula. So what is x here? So x is the distance. The distance is 9 meter, and L is the overall distance, that is 24. So 9 by 24, if I simplify that, I will be getting 3 by 8. So this is just a simplification. And for the remaining distance, for positive shear, how to find the intensity? That is 1 minus x by L. I have substituted 1 minus x here is 9 divided by L here is 24. So if you simplify this, you will be getting 5 by 8 here. So in order to check either what you are doing is correct or not, simply you add this two value. You will be getting the value of 1. So 5 by 8 plus 3 by 8 will be 1. So whatever the value you might be getting, for verification purpose, if you add that, you will be getting 1. So right now we got this influence line pattern, and let us find the maximum positive shear force. So for a moving load, if you need positive shear force, place the load at right hand side of the point considered. So this is the point considered C. I am placing the load at right hand side to find positive shear force. And after placing, you know the formula. So if it is a UDL, load into area covered. So whatever the area covered under this load, you have to find the area. So let us find that. So we know that the extreme end has 5 by 8. So the distance is 24 minus 9 will be 15. So for 15 meter distance, you are having vertical by horizontal ratio. So this is vertical, which is 5 by 8. Vertical by horizontal ratio, that is 5 by 8 by 15. For 5 by 8 vertical, you are having 15 meter horizontal distance. So this is the case. So for x meter distance, what is the vertical? So this is vertical by horizontal. Vertical is considered as x, and this horizontal distance is 9. So we already know the UDL has intensity of 6. So 15 minus 6 will be 9. So by using this ratio, I am cross multiplying this, that is 9 is cross multiplied here, and if I substitute and simplify, I will be getting x equal to 0.375. So that is either can be written as 3 by 8. So hence here it is written as 3 by 8 as the height of the triangle at point F. So now you know the ordinate. So this looks like a trapezoid. So for a trapezoid, to find the area of this trapezoid, you have a formula AB by 2 into L. So A here is height of first ordinate, and B is height of second ordinate, divided by 2 into L is the formula to find area of a trapezoid. Okay, so now we know this is 5 by 8. So 5 by 8 and B ordinate is 3 by 8 divided by 2. What is its length? Length is 6 meter. So I have multiplied into 6. So this is the formula to find area, and into 20 is the load. So load is 20. Now to find maximum positive shear force at C, the formula is area into load. Now we got the area and load. If you multiply, you will be getting 60 kilonewton. You can take this as positive. Why? We are finding positive shear force. And next, to find the negative shear force. How to find? Let us place the load in the same influence line diagram. You have to place the load at left hand side. So you will be getting negative shear force. So here same thing we are going to proceed. Right now we know the intensity at point C, but at point E we don't know the height of this ordinate. So in order to find that, we will be using this equation, and vertical by horizontal ratio. Vertical is 3 by 8, that is 3 by 8 divided by horizontal is 9 meter. 9 meter here, and we don't know this vertical distance, that is considered as x, and the remaining distance is 9 minus 6 divided equal to 3. So this will be, the remaining distance will be 3. So if you find the x value 0.125, that is 1 by 8. Either you can write like this. So here it is written as this ordinate is 1 by 8. Now you have the trapezoid here. So the ordinate, you can take the A ordinate as 3 by 8 and B ordinate as 1 by 8. So AB divided by 2. AB divided by 2 is written here, and the length is 6 meter. So 6 into load. After multiplying, you will be getting 30. So you have to take this as negative shear force. The area here is negative area, hence it is negative shear force. Okay. So you can see that without using sum of all moment equal to 0, sum of all vertical force equal to 0, the influence line give simplest value in order to find shear force and bending moment. Okay, now let us find maximum bending moment at the point C. So this is the pattern of influence line. For finding the peak of this ordinate, you have to use AB by L. That is the formula. A is the considered point distance from the support, that is 9 meter. B is the remaining meter, which is 15 meter, and AB divided by L is 24. So you got the C1 value as 5.63. Now you have to place the UDL here. So in order to place the UDL for moving load, you should have the ratio of the same as it is in the girder. So whatever the ratio is there in the girder, the same ratio should be there for the load. So the load should also placed in the same ratio, 9 by 24. So 9 by 24 is the ratio, that is 9 is AC by AB. So AC by AB. So this is a ratio. The same ratio should be formed in EC by F is written here. Now you know the value of AC is 9 and AB is 24. And EF value is 6 meter. The remaining unknown is EC. So if you cross multiply, you will be getting EC as 2.25 meter. And after finding EC 2.25, just you have to subtract the 6 and the remaining distance will be 3.75 meter. Now you know the ratio of the placement of load. Okay, you have to place the load exactly at the same ratio, and after placing this, you can find the area of the influence line diagram. So how to find the area of influence line? You know the peak influence line, that is 5.63 as the ordinate. Now you should find the ordinate of E1 and F1. To find that, use the vertical by horizontal ratio, In order to find F1, take the ratio of 5.63 as vertical, 5.63 divided by 15, this horizontal. You don't know this is F1 divided by this horizontal distances. So totally you have 15 meter distance here from the point C. So if you subtract 15 minus 3.75, you will be getting the remaining horizontal distance. So that is 11.25. So cross multiply and find F1. So F1 we found as 4.225. Okay. In order to find E1, the same way, vertical is 5.63 by horizontal is 9 here. A to C is 9 here, it is written. Okay. Then E1, the vertical distance, and horizontal is, so the total distance you know it as 9. So 9 minus 2.25 will be 6.75. So the remaining horizontal distance is 6.75. So 6.75 x by 6.75 and E1 by 6.75. E1 by 6.75. Now you will be getting E1 as 4.225. So E1 and F1 are the same ordinate. Okay. Now you can find by using the trapezoidal formula, E1 and C1 are the two ordinate, that is 5.63 plus 4.225. 5.63 plus 4.225 divided by 2 into the distance. So the distance here is 2.25. Now you will get this area covered under EC, C1, E1. Now to find the area between C1, C, F, F1, what you have to do is take A as ordinate. So A is 5.63 plus 4.225. 5.63 plus 4.225 divided by 2 into, now the distance here is 3.75 and we have found out this area. After finding the individual area, you can multiply, you can add this and multiply into load. So the formula here is area into load. After multiplying this and simplifying, you will be getting 591 kilonewton meter. Now this is the maximum bending moment at the point C. Now by this problem you can understand the influence line concept gives EC value for throughout all the sections. Now let us try another problem by using point load. Now 2 point loads are here, that is 50 kilonewton and 75 kilonewton, spaced 3 meter apart. So the distance is 3 meter with the 50 kilonewton load leading. So 50 kilonewton load is leading from the front. In some questions the diagram will not be given. You have to make the diagram by using this description. So I am relating this description into the diagram. The leading load is 50 kilonewton and 75 kilonewton is 3 meter apart. Okay. Passes over a simply supported span of 12 meter. So the total distance is 12 meter and it is simply supported. Using influence line diagram, calculate maximum shear force and bending moment at section 4.8 meter. So this is our point of interest. From A, C is located at 4.8. So the remaining distance will be 7.2 from the left hand support. Also find out the section and the magnitude of absolute maximum bending moment that may occur anywhere on the beam. So here additionally we have to find absolute maximum bending moment. So let us solve this. It is indicated here that use the concept of influence line. So now we will be using the influence line. You know that for a simply supported beam, the pattern of influence line is same. The negative shear force will be x by L and the positive shear force will be 1 minus x by L, and the x is 4.8. So 4.8 by 12 you will be getting 0.4 and 1 minus 4.8 by 12 will be getting 0.6. Now we got the ordinates. To find maximum positive shear force, you have to place the load at right hand side of the required point. So I have placed at the right hand side. So the formula here is load into this ordinate, that is the height. Now for 50 kilonewton we don't know this ordinate, so in order to find this we will be using this vertical by horizontal ratio. For 0.6 vertical, the horizontal distance is 7.2. 0.6 vertical by 7.2 equals d divided by, so this is 3 meter and the total distance is 7.2. If you subtract, you will be getting 4.2. So d divided by 4.2. So if you cross multiply, you will get d as 0.35. So this is 0.35. Now you know the two ordinate. Note that for UDL you have to use area into ordinate. For point load you can use load into the height. So the load is 75 into height is 0.6. 75 into 0.6 and 50 into the D. So D what we found is 0.35. 0.35 into 50. So now the value is 62.5 kilonewton. So this is our shear force. So this is positive. We have considered the positive ordinate. Okay, now let us find negative shear force. Place the load at left hand side portion. Now I am finding the ordinate. This is 0.4 which we already know, and E ordinate will be vertical by horizontal ratio. Here the vertical is 0.4 divided by 4.8, this value 0.4 by 4.8, and 4.8 minus 3 will be remaining distance, that is 1.8. E divided by 1.8. E divided by 1.8 is written here, and the value of E is 0.15. So after getting this ordinate, now 50 into 0.4 is the distance and 75 into 0.15. So the same thing is written here, and if you add you will be getting 31.25 kilonewton as the negative shear force. Now to find maximum bending moment, we have the influence line diagram of a triangle which is having a apex at the point P. Okay, how to find this apex? AB by L. So this is A and this distance is B. 4.8 into 7.2 divided by total distance is 12. So you will be getting the apex as 2.88. Now in order to find the maximum bending moment, the condition is at a point you have to place the maximum load. So if you consider this two load, which is maximum 75 kilonewton is maximum, so you have to place the load in the apex, and if I provide that, I will be having 50 kilonewton at the point D. In order to find point D here, so we don't know this ratio and we don't know this ordinate, so let us find that 2.88 divided by this distance will be 7.2. So 2.88 divided by 7.2 and D divided by, if you subtract 7.2 minus 3, the remaining distance will be 4.2. D divided by 4.2. So this is D and this is 4.2. And you will be getting D as 1.68. Okay, after getting this, we know the two ordinates. Let us multiply to get maximum bending moment at C. 75 into 2.88 and 1.68 into 50. So, simplifying and adding this, I will be getting 300 kilonewton meter as the maximum bending moment at C. Now let us go to absolute maximum bending moment. So we know that the absolute maximum bending moment will occur under the heavier of the two loads. So which one is heavier? Under that point you will be having maximum absolute bending moment. Now 75 is the point. Okay. Then when the load and the centroid of the loads are equidistant from the center of the span. So this is the condition. The resultant and the maximum load. So this is the resultant and this is the maximum load should be equal distance between the centroid of the span. So now the span is 12 meter. The centroid will be at, that is midpoint, will be at 6 meter. Okay. So now in order to find the equidistance, you need to find R. How to find the resultant? Since all the force is acting downward, you can add the two forces. That is, you need to convert into a single force. If I add 75 plus 50, 75 plus 50 will be 125. If I need a resultant, I can take moment at the load point. That is, I am taking moment at the point 75 and I am considering 50 into distance is 3 meter. So this distance is 3 meter and 50 into 3 is written here and R into X distance. I don't know this value. So R I know, R into X distance. Now I know the value of R, that is 125. So you can take this outside in order to find X. Okay. If I am taking it outside, I will be getting the ratio of 50 into 3 is 150 divided by R is 125. So the X value will be 1.2 meter. Now I know that X is 1.2 meter from the 75 kilonewton. Why? Because I have considered moment from the point 75. So from here the resultant is 1.2 meter distance. So in order to find equidistance, that is half of this distance will be 1.2 by 2 is 0.6. So this is 0.6 and remaining portion is 0.6 here. Okay. We have to place this load in such a manner that 7.5 and resultant are equidistant at the midpoint. So this point is 6 meter. That is in the total span, this point is a midpoint and midpoint should be at 6 meter. So this is the position of load. Okay, now we have found out the position of load for absolute maximum condition. Now load is over. Now let us draw the influence line diagram. So what we know is the influence line will be maximum and the absolute maximum bending moment will be there at the heavier load. So which is heavier load? 75 kilonewton is heavier. So the 75 kilonewton is at a distance from A. So let us find from A. You know that this is 6 meter. That is the midpoint. So let us subtract 6 minus the remaining distance, that is 0.6. So 6 minus 0.6 will be 5.4. So now we have found out the remaining distance as 5.4. So in order to find, so this is our point of interest now. So now to find peak of this AB by L. Now our A will be 5.4 and the remaining distance will be 12 minus 5.4, which will be 6.6. And AB by L is 12 and if I multiply I will be getting 2.97. So this is the highest ordinate. If I want to find the rest of the ordinate, so I will use vertical by horizontal ratio. The vertical here is 2.97 divided by horizontal is, if this is 5.4, the remaining will be 6.6. So 2.97 by 6.6 and this height is F divided by the horizontal distance. So this is 6.6 minus 3. Total is 6.6 minus 3 will be 3.6. So F by 3.6. I will be getting F as 1.62 and load, to find absolute maximum bending moment, load is 75 into 2.97. It is written here and 50 into 1.62 is written here. So while multiplying and adding this, I will be getting the absolute maximum bending moment as 303.75 kilonewton meter. Yes. By this we understood that the influence line straight approach, in order to find shear force and bending moment, you can locate at whatever point is required. So what is the disadvantage of equilibrium method is, so you have to find a reaction for each and every position of load. But here you have a well defined influence line, so it is easier when comparing to that method. So for some cases the equilibrium equation condition is very much quick, very much easy for making a quick calculation, and for certain cases of load, influence line concept will be much easier in order to find the analytical parameter for beams under moving load. I hope this exercise given you some better understanding of the concept, and I hope you enjoyed this session. See you soon. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.